to accept it everywhere.
Held in the rotunda of the Croton Harbor High School.
Yeah, and that sounded awful.
I think I have it.
Sound.
Your computer, Colin?
Just please stand by, experiencing technical. Okay. You good? So I was saying, we started the evening with a beautiful recognition of our community volunteers this evening. So we want to thank everyone who takes the time to dedicate any time they have to helping our students, to working with our students in the district, and helping our community. Moving into item 1.2, the approval of the agenda. Recommended action, be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Moving into new business, item 2.1, results of the budget vote and school board election on May 20th, 2025. Recommended action, be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby accepts the results of the May 2025 school budget vote and school board election as presented.
So moved. Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Item 2.2, resolution to close completed capital projects. Recommended action, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the resolution to close the completed capital account projects presented and return $20,472.09 to the general fund and $494,286.28 to the debt service fund.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Items 2.3. Policies for first reading. Right. I mean, Anamika and I, and the rest of the policy committee met this week to consider some of these. We wanted to get them on the agenda in the hopes of presenting them for second reading next week. If anyone has any questions or there's any discussion, you could certainly email the policy committee chair, Neil Haber, or the board. If there's no questions, I'll move into item 3.1, instructional personnel recommendation. Recommended action, be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, hereby appoints Daniel Burgo as a 1.0 FTE science teacher in the science tenure area at the Croton Harmon High School at a salary of $122,308, MA Step 20. Mr. Burgo is appointed to a 3-year probationary term as a science teacher commencing on August 27th, 2025, and probationary term ending August 26th, 2028. In the tenure area of science, Mr. Burgo has professional certification in biology grades 7 through 12.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Moment. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Item 2.2, resolution. I'm sorry. 4.1, yes. A donation from the Croton Caring Committee, Inc., the ACE Grant Program in partnership with the Knights of Columbus to the Croton Harmon High School prom. Recommended action, be it resolved, the Board of Education gratefully accepts a donation of $896 from the Croton Caring Committee, Inc. as an ACE grant in partnership with the Knights of Columbus for 8 students to attend the Croton Harmon High School prom.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Item 4.2, donation, the Croton Emergency Medical Services, Inc., Charles J. Ellison Memorial Scholarship. Recommended action that the Board of Education hereby gratefully accepts a donation in the amount of $1,000 from the Croton Emergency Services, Inc. as a contribution to the Charles J. Ellison Scholarship at Croton Harmon High School.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? I would just like to say that this is given to one or more graduating seniors who have been volunteers and first responders with Croton EMS. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Item 4.3, a donation from the Croton Caring Committee, Inc., the ACE Grant Program in partnership with the Knights of Columbus for a PVC bowling trip. Recommended action, be it resolved that the Board of Education gratefully accepts a donation of $40 from the Croton Caring Committee, Inc. as an ACE grant in partnership with the Knights of Columbus for 2 students to attend the Pierre Van Cortlandt Middle School bowling trip.
So moved.
Yeah.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Item 4.4, donation to the Pierre Van Cortlandt Middle School PTA end of the year activities and boat dance. Recommended action, be it resolved, the Board of Education gratefully accepts the donation from the Pierre Van Cortlandt Middle School PTA in the amount of $6,000 as a contribution to the end of the year activities and the boat dance for PVC in 2025.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you to all of our generous donors for, going above and beyond to make sure that all of our students are able to participate in activities for their scholarship and for the activities that they do year round, to basically raise the funds to be able to support these celebrations. Moving into item 5.1, the consent agenda. Recommended action, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves all items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
No,
Go ahead, Anamika.
No, you should.
Sarah and Anamika.
On the question,
I'm sorry, give me just a moment. Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Moving into our closing of the meeting. Item 6.1, polling of the board. I just want to kind of talk to my fellow board members and the community as a whole. I do think that next year, and even for the rest of, we have one meeting left for the summer, we will be polling to the board at every meeting, because we do find ourselves, we find it being too long, like to wait for our business meetings a whole month to be able to talk about the things that we've done in the community or the things that we've seen in the community. So going forward, I do think that we should just be adding polling of the board to be able to discuss the things we've seen, discuss the things that we're excited about going to. Sometimes from the beginning of the month until the end of the month, it no longer seems relevant that, like, for instance, we were at the West Pub dinner this Tuesday, and it was such a great event, meeting our colleagues across the counties and sitting and being there to honor Sarah. She was like elected onto the board as vice president there. But maybe at the end of the month, we wouldn't be talking about that. So I do think it's an opportunity for us to highlight all of those things.
Good idea.
I also want to say that that was actually something that Anamika has been pushing more all year. That was not my idea, but it is my opportunity to introduce it. So
I do have an item for polling of the board.
go ahead.
So those of you who attend board meetings may have noticed that I was absent for the previous board meeting. I was in Kansas City for Destination Imagination Global Finals. And Croton did have a team. New York had a very good showing. Croton's team called Engineered competed in the engineering challenge at the elementary level, and they took a 20th, finished in 20th place out of a rather large field, and we're very proud of them, and we hope that they will be back together with their fellow teams next year.
That's great. Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know it's your last meeting because you won't be with us next week while you celebrate prom. I don't know if you wanted to participate in polling of the board. I don't want to put you on the spot. I want to just thank you for participating as our ex officio student trustee. Thank you for putting together that map to highlight the parking issues. I think that that's great. We always appreciated your perspective and having you here, having student voice involved in the board, something that's very important to us.
Yeah, no one to say except thank you to everyone on the board. You guys are so welcoming. It's been really great, and I really hope that you guys enjoy the next students that we have in line. And I definitely want to come back in the future just to watch another meeting. But yeah, thank you guys. And also I wanted to ask if I could take my nameplate home.
Absolutely. All the best.
Put that at the door of your dorm room.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, so everyone knows.
I have such a long list, and I think there are things that other people should talk about first. So I'm voting that we go this. Okay. Go.
Well, this is not related to the board. I was able to be at Summerfest this weekend and be there for the first Pride flag raising at the end of the march. It was very well attended. I think it was about 150 people. And it was very moving to see the community come out and mark the beginning of Pride Month. And to see so many of our students speak on what's important to them and why it's important to them. Mayor Pugh gave a very moving speech regarding why it's important for us as a community to raise the flag. So it was a nice overlap to see our students and our community come together for a village event that way, at what is our annual Summerfest. So
I did remember something.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
said that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
actually. So I was not able to attend the flag raising, but I was able to participate at the idea booth that we had at Summerfest in the afternoon. And actually the Village Idea Committee, of which Anamika and I both serve as the board liaison for this year, actually spoke with SEPTA and came up with a fantastic idea for this year's booth, aside from just sharing information about what the Idea Committee does in the village and different resources they have. Also set up a kind of a sensory friendly environment so people could take a little break from all of the busyness and festivities going on in Summerfest can sometimes be a little overstimulating. So Christina Arnold, who is the chair of that committee, worked to bring in a couple of Blue Path dogs, which was lovely, and they set up space so that there was some nice quiet space, theoretically quiet space, because they did end up putting us across the street from the firehouse. But yeah, we'll work on those details for next year. But it was a really lovely spot, and even when I was there in the afternoon, volunteering, several families came to just take a moment and take a break, get some water, have some quiet time, let their kids, sit and pet the dogs and just relax. So it was a really wonderful event, and it was a great collaboration between the village and the school district in working to add something into that event that would be helpful for families. Great.
Me? Okay. Do you want to talk about any of these things before I go?
Go for it.
Okay. You can chime in. We'll try to tag team this. So there's so many exciting things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, and because it's getting close to the end of the school year, I think this is maybe our only opportunity to talk about some of them. The district art show last week, did everybody go? Did it blow you away? It was really incredible to see. Just again, I think when we're talking about the breadth of offerings that our school district has for students of all abilities and interests, seeing artwork from kids all the way from CET, all the way to AP students who have developed this portfolio over the course of the last couple of years was like, it was transcendental. I thought it was amazing. People were just walking around like blown away that this is the work of high school students, also the work of middle school students, also the work of elementary students. But, you know, the high school student portfolios were really, really they were just very impressive. So that was very exciting.
Space was also
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, it was really nice to actually be able to just sort of like walk around. It was up for, there was access, you could go back, I did go back just to look a little bit more. And I think it was, it's just a highlight of every year, I think. And for the students too, right? Because it's like you get to see their work in the context of everybody's work. Which also is, you know, it's good to know, I think. So that was really, really fun. I also had a chance to attend the PVC spring concert, which is always a blast. That was really sort of good sort of end to the year, and they always rock out in an amazing way with their very last song, as they did again this year. Isabel, you weren't there for the SFC final celebration, but I just want to commend the Student Faculty Congress. Josh, Anna, and I have all been alternating attending over the course of the school year. The meetings have of course been, you know, in the morning, so it's been easy to pop in. Next year, I understand that the schedule is going to change and SFC is going to be meeting during the school day. So it'll be interesting to see how we sort of are able to continue our support there. But I think one of the highlights for me was just to see how thoughtfully the group had planned for that closing meeting to really talk about what they were so proud of having accomplished, what they felt they could do better, and also things that they feel like didn't quite meet up to their expectations. It was a really great open conversation. There was a lot of representation from all the grades, and it was really nice to see. A couple of people specifically mentioned that they really appreciate sort of like the mentorship and the openness of upper class people who are sort of like helping folks who are newer to SFC kind of get the flow of things and get the flow of the meetings and get sort of into the flow of how it all works. So I thought that was it was nice to sort of see that culminating conversation. I mean, this was a busy week, so I'm gonna keep going. Tiger Sports Showcase, that was also amazing. I'm sure, you know, Mr. Walker is gonna talk about it next week as part of his remarks, but this was just such a joy to see all of our students in the gym, like going crazy for all the different sports opportunities that await them as middle schoolers and high school students. And the level of engagement, again, from our high school students, showing the ropes, literally like ropes and balls and other things to younger students, and seeing that level of interest and engagement was a really, really exciting thing to see. This, I think, as you know, from our presentation or our discussion a couple of weeks ago, was the passion of a middle school student that sort of like led this into being. And I know Christine Draco and all the coaches and, you know, students and athletes brought a lot to it, but it was really, really exciting and really, really fun. So I've got two more things to talk about. PVC passion projects, I spent a lot of time with those last week also, and was really excited to see the kids who really had a chance to showcase their passions, and the students who really used it as an opportunity to explore something that they wouldn't ordinarily get a chance to work on in school. For so many of those students, it was an opportunity to shine and an opportunity to really tell other people about what they were excited about. So I really enjoyed hearing from a number of kids, and I'm very eager to see how this program is going to continue to evolve and develop over the coming years. Last thing was, I was not able to see you there, Miss Rachel, but I did have a wonderful time with the ENL team at their last family event, which they entitled Next Stop CHHS. So they brought together families of students who are making the transition from 8th grade to 9th grade. And the student speakers who participated and really led the discussion are students who have you know come up through high school. There was a person who was a senior, a person who was I think a little bit a sophomore, maybe 11th grader. And so they were there to really answer parents' questions very directly, also in the native language of the parents, which I think made a real impact and allowed for a genuine type of conversation that I think was really special to see. And also I think the families who were there really felt that it was important to hear directly from students, because that's, it's one of the things that we as a board continue to talk about, elevating student voices. This was a perfect example. So congratulations to you and your team for doing that. It was really a wonderful event. That is all.
Thanks, Anamika. So just to highlight, I was also at the PVC Passion Project presentations, and they were amazing and great, and I think just really good showcases of our students, our kids really just letting their passion shine right on in their presentations. I saw from things around fashion and sports to animals and cooking. There was like actually some tables had like full meals at them, which was pretty amazing. I didn't realize I was gonna eat so much at that. So I thought it was great. And again, it was you could really see how students really just were passionate, right, about the things that they were presenting and had worked really hard on the project. So that was amazing. I was at the CET end of year concert. God, was that yesterday? Was that last night? A lot has happened since then, but yes, that was last night and it was amazing and really just I think again showcased the quality of our music program along with the art showcase, just really again showcasing the arts programming and the quality of our instruction and our student work in that area. So I know there's just a lot of things happening at the end of the year, right? Like that many of us are going to, and it's also just impressive to see how well they are carried out by the faculty, by administration, and how just really carefully planned they are, and I think showcase the work of our students and celebrates them, but also shows how much our teachers, our aides, and I think our district in general is putting into these events how much care and yeah, just attention to making sure that all families are experiencing the joy, right, that the end of year brings. So that was really great to be a part of. Yeah.
I have two additional things that I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry. Steve and Dr. Duback and I were able to attend the Harold F. Johnson Scholastic Achievement Dinner, which happened on May 21st. It was valedictorians, salutatorians, high school principals, superintendents, and board presidents from throughout the area. It wasn't exclusive to Westchester County. Ava Andrews was one of maybe 5 recipients of a scholarship event that evening. But in speaking to other board presidents and speaking to other building leaders in the area, it was just exciting to see all of this really great student achievement happening, and to be proud of what we're doing here, and to be recognized. There were lots of people coming over and asking questions about how certain programs are going, so that was really great. And then I do kind of want to go back to the Westcott dinner this week, because it was actually very interesting to come together regionally and speak to other board members about their elections, their election process, the wrapping up of their years, their budgets, whether the referendums passed, the community support, that those conversations and moving forward, and challenges and successes. As a board, I really think that we need to collectively decide next year how we're going to actively participate more in Westcott, and some of the different mingling opportunities they have of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best things I think about the Westcott organization is the opportunity that it gives us all to be able to speak with our colleagues around the region and see what's going on and see the ways in which we face similar challenges and opportunities, and the different ways in which we all approach things, and it can, generate ideas for all of us, and it's just in the years that I've been involved in it, has always been provided a really good sounding board of understanding what is going on in the region. So
yeah, there was actually a wonderful speaker, and of course I'm not going to remember his name, but Scott Levy will be publishing a book in the fall about school boards and they're tied to the future of democracy. So stay tuned because it's published. And what?
I said, I pre-ordered it.
Yeah, so did I. Ordered it that night.
Yep.
But he did very passionately speak about the work that school boards do in communities and how it is kind of like one of the last bastions of the communities speaking to one another and not being polarized by national politics. So more to come on that in the fall, when the book comes out.
And I forgot I had one sort of committee update, because I know we're doing most of these next week, but we're also gonna have like a little bit of a lull after next week's meeting. May I just add that on? So board development has completed the transfer of our Board of Education self-evaluation from the PDF form that we have used in the past to a Google form that we will be able to use now and in perpetuity if we decide to, because you can easily just amend a Google form to update questions. So later this evening, after it's just been checked over by somebody else, you'll receive a link to be able to fill out that form. And we'll try to establish a timeline for doing that, but I think the idea is that it reflects essentially the NISBA evaluation that has been used by this board for the last 2 years. And rather than having to sort of like go in and fill in the little boxes on the PDFs, you can actually just do it on a Google form, collate the information, and then present it for discussion at the time that we agree upon. So I just wanted to share that. Please keep an eye out for the email. Thank you. Thank you.
So that will conclude polling of the board. Item 6.2, executive session. Recommended action, be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby enters into executive session to discuss contract negotiations with CSEA clerical bargaining unit, and as well as the employment of a particular person or persons. We do foresee that after the executive session, we will adjourn the meeting off camera, obviously. But we want to thank everyone for being here, and we will be back here 1 week from now on Thursday, June 12th, 11th, 12th, for our final regular business meeting of the school year.
So moved.
Second. Oops, I see we keep doing that.
I'll take that as
Take
the
this
second.
one. Please.
All in favor?
Second, aye. Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Good evening.